A car to keep an eye out for on your travels is one of these. It's a 1989 Ford Mustang Saleen, and we can see on the front fender here it is number 181. However, they only made 161 of these total in 1989. We can see on the tag here that it only has 911 miles on this car. It is finished in the Oxford white with the gray and blue interior. They did equip these with a roll bar as well as a 5.0 liter high output V8 equipped with a 5-speed manual transmission. We can see the dual exhaust and the big wings on the back of these cars, and of course Steve Saleen did sign the dash on this vehicle. If you're not familiar with these cars, they will surprise you at auction. This one brought $170,000 across the block. One by land, two by sea. This car behind me does both. It's a 1967 Amphicar 770 convertible. And yes, this car you can drive on the road and float on the water with this vehicle. They made about 4,000 of these over the multi-year run, and it is powered by a Triumph 4-cylinder engine and a 4-speed transmission. On the back end here, we can look down here and see the dual propellers which propel this car to about 7 miles per hour on the water. This car did sell here at Mecum Kissimmee 2025, and it brought $90,000. The car behind me is beautiful. This is a 1971 Camaro Z28. Now, it does have the long bumper that goes across the front of this car, and if it was a RS, it would just stop here, and it would be the split bumper that most of you are familiar with. This car is equipped with a 350 mated to an M21 transmission, and it's finished off in cranberry red with the saddle interior. It also does have the 5-spoke Argent wheels on here with the wide oval tires wrapped around it. But what I wanted to show you on the back of this car is that in 1971 there was no 12 bolts. So this car also does have dual exhaust, and it only has a 10-bolt rear end, but this car is equipped with 410 gears. Now, this car did sell here at Mecum Kissimmee 2025, and it brought $77,000. One of my favorite cars we've found so far is this 1968 Hemi Corvette RT, and I was going to call it a sleeper, but it's hard to hide the fact that this does have a Hemi resting down inside here. Now, it is a 68, we can tell by the circle side marker lights, first year for those, and it is finished in dark blue metallic with the color match wheels and the poverty caps. Now, this is one of 9 produced in 1968 as a Hemi Corvette RT convertible, but only known of 1 of 3 on the registry. We can see that it is Galen Govier documented as well as Dave Wise, and they do have the broadcast sheet for this vehicle, but man, does this thing just gleam with this dark blue metallic paint. Again, 68 has the flush grille here for the Corvette with the power bulge hood. The owner says that they do have over $300,000 invested in this vehicle. It did roll across the block yesterday on Thursday, and we can see that the high bid on this thing was $200,000. A car that we don't see very often is this 1970 Yenko Deuce Nova. Now, Yenko produced 175 of these cars for the 1970 year model run. However, this is one of only 10 produced in Sunfire Yellow. Remember that this is a 350 small block car, and it made about 360 horsepower. It does come with the cool tack on the hood of this car. However, it is a bench seat 4-speed, something that I find pretty cool in this bare bones Yenko Deuce Nova, as well as the stripe that goes back down this car. This car did sell here at Kissimmee 2025, and it brought $151,000. This one's pretty neat. It's a 1949 Plymouth Special Deluxe Woody Wagon, and Special Deluxe of course means that it got all the goodies. Now, we can see that it does have the V visor on the front here, and you would open this up right here for air conditioning, but the thing about this one is it has the wood down the side, and it's getting very difficult to find people that are able to work on these cars and get this wood exactly right. Now, they only made 3,500 of these Special Deluxes in 1949, and you can see all the stickers of where it's been right there in the back window. But look at the presentation of this car. I love the maroon on the side. I love the two-tone wood. We do have the surfboards on the top of this thing. It does have just a straight inline 6 with it. It looks like you could take it to the beach right now, and it's sold for One of the coolest trucks they have here on display is this 1979 Ford Bronco XLT. And of course, it's the XLT. It has the chrome bumper here in the front. And we also can see that it is equipped with, it looks like a late 60s Mach 1 Mustang hood scoop. The power plant in this Ford Bronco is, of course, a modern 5.0 liter Coyote V8. And it's riding on American racing wheels equipped with a Skyjacker suspension system. Now, if we scoot back here, we can see that they did paint this car in orange and white, which kind of reminds me of a Chevrolet, but this is a Ford. This car did sell here at Mecum 2025 for a total of $82,500. And what do you guys think at home? Was that a good deal or not? Man, this car behind me is really cool. This is a 1957 Chevrolet Black Widow recreation. And what exactly is a Black Widow? Well, it's a stripped down version of the Chevy 150 in 1957. Of course, this one's equipped with a 283 V8 that has 283 horsepower, but it is also fuel injected. These were basically race cars from the factory. They shipped about 6 or 7, or we don't really know the actual number, down to Atlanta, Georgia. You can see Nally Chevrolet on the back of this car, and they were turned into race cars. We can see the fuel injection logo right here, but I'll show you, this car was equipped with 6-lug wheels, which are heavy duty. It does not have a back seat. It has a 20-gallon gas tank, so it could stay on the racetrack longer. And if you look in there, there is no radio, there is no cigarette lighter, there is no armrests on these cars. They were straight race cars from the factory. The reason they get their Black Widow name is not very certain. However, it is probably from their paint job, where they all came in this black and the white. This car did sell for $58,000 here at Kissimmee Mecum 2025. Wow, this car behind me is super cool. It's a 1968 Camaro Super Sport, and of course it's a L78, so that means that it does have the 396 underneath the hood with 375 horsepower. But this was a Carolina promotional car back in the day, and you can tell that it's that way because of the Carolina blue. Now, is this car a Copo or not? Well, it doesn't have a 427 under the hood, but a part of the Copo program, you could get a special paint option designated on the cow tag as a dash, and this is a one-off color for this car. And the cool thing about this car is it did sell here yesterday at Mecum Kissimmee 2025 for a total of $159,000. So I imagine that we'll probably see a couple more of these colors painted on Camaros in the future. This one must be a survivor. It's a 1969 Chevelle SS, and you can see the 396 callouts right here in the front. We'll take a look at that 396 engine inside. Now, of course, this is the L78 375 horsepower, and we know that also because it does have an aluminum intake on it. The lesser power 396s would not have that, and they would also be colored orange, just like the rest of the engine. This one does look like it was driven or just survivor condition. Of course, it was equipped with air conditioning, but the air conditioning is not installed. We can see that it was painted in Cortez silver, noted by the 69 code on the cal tag next to the B, which says that it has a black vinyl top. If we take a look on the inside, we can also see that there are some day 2 mods, including the radio and as well as the tach, and it does have the circle gauges that denote it's a Super Sport option. This car did sell here at Kissimmee 2025 for $50,000. The car behind me is a 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Now, this car is finished in lime light, and that is a pretty desirable color for this car. But what makes this one special is it is in unrestored original condition down to the wheels. It says it has the original belts, the original tires, the original seats, the original everything, but it also is one of 58 made in 1970 with a Hemi and a 4-speed equipped. Remember that all Superbirds did get the vinyl top, and they fixed it with this little piece back here, but this car did sell here at Kissimmee for $803,000. Possibly the coolest Camaro they have here on display is this 1969 Camaro Z28. Now, if we take a look at this car, it is finished in tuxedo black with the red interior. But what's super cool is it does not have the Z28 rally stripes down the back of this car. It also does have the cow hood that's made out of fiberglass that accommodates the cross ram intake setup on this Camaro. You can see it does have the dual carburetors right here, and this cross ram setup would have been delivered in the trunk of this car. If we take a look at the VIN tag on here, we do see that it was delivered to the Van Nuys plant, and it was a special paint, meaning it has a special upper and a special lower designated with those dashes. What's super cool about this car is it probably is an early car and was not equipped with the spoilers. There are no spoilers underneath of this car, and there is no spoiler on the back of this car, and it's probably one of the rarest Z28s they have for sale at Kissimmee, and it's sold for. The little red car behind me is this 1966 Shelby GT350. Now, the cool thing about this one, of course, is it is powered by a high-performance 289. However, this Paxton supercharger has been added to it. One other thing while we're under the hood of this car is you can tell it is a Shelby by the welded-in plate that's back here on the firewall. Regular Mustangs did not get that. This car does present very, very well. It is a 4-speed car as well. Of course, remember that the 66 Mustangs, the Shelby ones at least, did get the plexiglass windows in the back. Now, this car did sell here at Kissimmee 2025, and the selling price was $187,000. One of the holy grails is this 1970 Buick GS Stage 1 convertible. One of only 67 4-speed Stage 1 convertibles built in 1970. Of course, it does have a 455 down inside with 360 horsepower. But the cool thing about the Buick GS Stage 1 is that this car had 510 foot-pounds of torque, or the most of any car built by GM in 1970, more than the LS6 Chevelle. This car did sell here at Mecum for $192,000. And what do you guys think? Is there a better looking Buick GS out there on the market? I don't think so. Oh my God, this is a 1967 Shelby 427 Cobra. Only 18,000 original miles on this one. Possibly one of the most original 427 Cobras in existence, and one of only 260 Shelby Cobras with a 427 built for the street. We do see that it has the original Sunburst wheels with the original Blue Dot tires still on this car. Now, this car did cross the block. It did not sell, and you can see here that they were asking $1.9 million for this car. Definitely something that I think that they probably should have taken that offer, but if it is one of the best Cobras in existence, what do you guys think it's worth? Let us know in the comments below. This little red car behind me is a 1968 Shelby GT500, and of course we can tell that it's a 68 Shelby because it does say Shelby on the front valance. Remember, in 67 the hood came the whole way out to here. Of course, it does have the Zeus style hood pins on it. Something cool for 1968 is they actually never left the factory with these 10-spoke alloy rims on it. Maybe a couple export cars did, but that is debated by experts. If we walk down the back of this car, we do see that it is an early car. It does have the square style side marker lights on it. Later Shelbys in the year would actually have more of a rounded style that was converted on all 68 Mustangs. The Shelby did sell here at Mecum for $143,000. This bright orange car behind me is a 1969 Z28 Camaro. Now, it is equipped with the RS Hideaway headlight package, and you can see that it does have the cowl hood as well as the front bumper guards and the spoiler attached. Now, this is one of the Z28s that you would want to have, and of course it is in Hugger Orange, but we can also see that it has the white houndstooth interior. You can also see that it does have the spoiler on the back of this car. It is equipped with the 302 DZ, and the spoiler and the stripes were painted correctly on this car. And of course it does have the reverse light down here for the RS package. Remember, all Z28s did get the bumperettes on the back because it was a Trans Am car, and these were used to push them off the racetrack. This car did sell here at Mecum 2025 for $176,000.